Hello friends, in this video we are going to solve a very important and at the same time a very interesting string problem. So in this video we are going to print all possible substrings of a given string. Now for solving this problem, the prerequisite is the concept of nested loop. So if you are not aware of the concept of nested loop, I have given the link of the video related to nested loop in the description section of this video. So in that video, everything related to nested loop, the concept and examples all have been described in detail. So if you are not aware of the concept of nested loop, I would first request you to go through that video and then you can come back to this video and everything will be clear to you. So first of all, let's see an example input and output of the problem. So in this video, as I have just mentioned, we are going to print all possible substrings of a given string. So if the input string is ABCDE, so we have to print all the possible substrings of this given string. So we have to print A, AB, ABC, ABCD, ABCDE, then B, BC, BCD, BCDE, then C, CD, CDE, D, DE, and E. So we have to print all the possible substrings. So first, I would recommend you to pause this video and try to solve the problem yourself, and then you can come back and see the solution. So let's get started with the solution of the problem. To solve this problem, we will go step by step. So if this is our input string, what we will do in each step, we will fix one character and we will try to find out all the substrings that includes that particular character. So what is our first character? That is, what is the character at 0th index? It is A, right? So in the first step, we will fix the character A and we will try to find all the substrings that include the character A. So which are the substrings that include the character A? A, AB, ABC, ABCD, and ABCDE, right? Now, after this step is completed, we will move to the next step. That is, we will move to the next character, we will fix it, and we will again try to figure out which are the substrings that include the character B. And these are the substrings that include the character B. We will do the same thing for C, D, and also for E, right? So if we continue like this, we will be able to find all the substrings of this input string ABCDE, right? Now in each step, to find all the substrings that include a particular character, we have to take the help of slicing operator. So we have to start slicing at that particular character, and in each step we have to increase the number of extracted character by 1. So if we consider the first step, then first we have to extract A, then we have to extract AB, then we will extract ABC, then we will extract ABCD, and lastly we will extract ABCDE. Similarly, for B, we will first extract B, then we will extract BC, then we will extract BCD, and finally we will extract BCDE. And the similar thing will also happen for C, D, and E, right? Now let's see how the slicing operator or the slicing will actually look like. So when we use the slicing operator, if we give this string, the input string, a name S, actually the slicing will look like this. So in the first step, the starting character, that is the character that we are fixing, is A, the index of which is 0. So for the first step, the starting index is always 0 and the ending index will keep on changing. As I have just mentioned, we have to keep on incrementing the number of extracted characters by 1 in each step. Fine. So first it will be 0 to 1, which will extract only the character at index 0. Then in the slicing operator, we will specify 0 to 2, which will extract two characters, 0 and 1. Then 0 to 3 will extract three characters, 0, 1 and 2, and it will continue like this. So, and this entire thing of incrementally going through or incrementally extracting the characters will be repeated in each step. That is, it will be repeated for each of the fixed characters, right? So obviously, from the structure of the slicing operator, you can clearly understand we will need a nested loop to implement this. The outer loop will take care of fixing the characters. That is, in the first iteration of the outer loop, we will fix the index 0. In the second iteration of the outer loop, we will fix the index 1. In the third iteration of the outer loop, we will fix 2, like this. And the inner loop will take care of finding all the substrings for every fixed character. So for the first iteration of the outer loop, we will fix 0, and when we will fix 0, we will keep on incrementing the number of extracted character by 1 in each iteration of the inner loop. So let's get started with our code. So let's paste the entire thing here. Let's increase the font a bit for your convenience, and we will comment out the entire thing. This is just for the sake of our understanding. So we'll comment out the entire thing by pressing Ctrl+1. Now we will start our actual code, right? So first of all, we will ask from the user for the input string. So let the name of the string be S, right? And we will take the string as input using the input function. Enter the string. Fine. Now once we store the input string in the variable S, then we will start writing the code for the nested loop. As I have just mentioned, the outer loop will take care of fixing these characters or fixing one index at each iteration. So let's write the code for that. So what will be the starting index? The starting index will obviously be 0, because we will start fixing the characters from the beginning of the string and will continue till the end of the string. And what is the index of the end character or the last character of the string? The index of the last character is the length of the string minus 1. So the length of this string is 5. So the index of the last character will be 4. So we will write the for loop like this. For I in range 0 to len s. So len function gives us the length of the string, and as we all know, the last index or the end index mentioned inside the range function is not included in the sequence. So if we mention 0 comma length of the string, this sequence will contain all the integers, all the consecutive integers from 0 to the number which is 1 less than the length of the string. So we'll basically start from 0 and will continue to the last character of the string, right? So this outer loop will take care of fixing one character at a time. Now once we are done with fixing one character at a time, what we will do? We will find all the substrings that include that particular character, and that will be taken care of by the inner loop, right? So for j in the range, and what will the range function contain? It will start from I plus 1 and will end at len s plus 1. So what this inner loop basically does, it actually changes the end indexes in the slicing operator. Now in each step, what we see, the end index starts from an index which is 1 greater than the fixed index. So if the fixed index is 0, the end index starts at 1. If the fixed index is 1, the end index starts from 2. If the fixed index is 2, the end index starts from 3. So that's why we have mentioned I plus 1, because as I is our fixed index in each iteration. So this is one iteration of the outer loop, this is one iteration of the outer loop, this is again one iteration. So in each iteration, I is our fixed index. So our first end index will be I plus 1. And what will be our last end index in the slicing operator? Last end index will be equal to the length of the string. Here the length of the string is 5. That is the last end index inside the slicing operator. So if we mention len s here, it will actually not include 5, right? As len s gives us 5, and in range function the last index that we specify is not included. So to actually include the number that is the length of the string, we have to mention len s plus 1, right? Okay. At the top, we have to declare an empty list in which we will keep on appending the extracted substrings, and inside this we will do li.append. So each time we extract a substring, we will append it to the list s, and in the slicing operator we'll mention I, that is the fixed index of each iteration of the outer loop, and the end index will keep on changing, and that will be j, right? As we have to print the elements in alphabetical order, we will simply sort the list, and after the list is sorted, we will simply print all the elements of the list. For element in li, print element. Right? So let's run our code. Let's enter a string A, B, C, D, E, and you can see we get the desired output. We get all the possible substring combinations of the string A, B, C, D, E, right? Now let's start looking at the line by line execution of the entire code. So let's press Ctrl plus F5, and you can see the debugger pointing to the first line. Now if we press Ctrl plus F10, it prompts us to enter a string. For saving our time, let's say we enter a shorter string ABC. We press enter, and you can see in the variable explorer a variable called s has been created with the value ABC, right? Now we initialize an empty list. You can see an empty list has been initialized, and now we enter the outer loop. So currently the string is ABC, right? And the value of the length of the string ABC is 3. So this gives us range 0, 3. So this loop will iterate over a sequence 0, 1 and 2. So we are inside the first iteration of the outer loop, and that's why the current value of I is 0. Now if we again press Ctrl plus F10, we enter the first iteration of the inner loop. So the value of j is 1. Why it is 1? Because inside the range function we have mentioned I plus 1 comma len s plus 1, which means current value of I is 0. So it gives us 1 comma 6. So it is a sequence of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So the first value is obviously 1. That's why the value of j is 1. Now it will extract? It will extract s. What is the current value of I? I is 0 and j is 1. So s 0 to 1, which means it will extract only the character at index 0. So it extracts s 0 to 1, right? If we again press Ctrl plus F10, you can see the list now contains one element and that is A. We have extracted the first substring from the input string. Now we are still inside the same iteration of the outer loop, so the value of I is unchanged to 0, but now we are entering the second iteration of the inner loop. So if we press Ctrl plus F10 again, the value of j changes from 1 to 2. Now it will extract 0 to 2, right? It will extract this thing. So we will get AB. Let's press Ctrl plus F10 again. And you can again see a new element has again been added to the list, and that is AB, right? Now if we again press Ctrl plus F10, the value of I is still 0, but the value of j has changed to 3. So the extraction, the slicing operator now gives S 0 to 3. So it will extract the first 3 characters. So this will be extracted, right? So if we again press Ctrl plus F10, you can again see an element ABC is getting added. So we have exhausted all the 3 iterations of the inner loop. So from line number 24, it will directly go to line number 23, right? So we will start our second iteration of the outer loop, which means we have completed this part. So we have found out all the substrings that include the character A. So we are done with this part. Now we will start this part. So now we will fix the next character, that is B. That is, we will fix the index 1. And we will try to find all the substrings related to B. We enter the second iteration of the outer loop, and you can see the value of I getting changed to 1, which means now we are fixing index number 1. If we again press Ctrl plus F10, so now the value of I is 1. So this range function basically will give us 2, 4, which means it will contain 2 elements, 2, 3, right? So this inner loop now will have 2 iterations, and we are currently in the first iteration. That's why the value of j is 2. So current value of I is 1 and j is 2. So it will basically extract this element B, right? If we again press Ctrl plus F10, you can see the element B has been added. Similarly, in the next iteration, S1:3 will extract BC, right? Press Ctrl plus F10 and we get BC. So we are also done with the second iteration of the outer loop as well. So we are done with this part and this part, right? So now we will move to this part. We'll fix the next character, that is C. So you can see the control again goes to line number 23. We enter the third iteration of the outer loop. Value of I changes to 2, which means we are fixing the index number 2. And we have entered the first iteration of the inner loop. So current value of I is 2. So it gives us range 3, 4. So it will contain only one element, that is 3. So the current value of j is 3 and current value of I is 2. So S2:3 gives us C, right? And if we this inner loop this time, as it is range 3, 4 only gives us one element, that is 3. So this inner loop will have only one iteration. And if we again press Ctrl plus F10, it will go back here, but it will no longer enter the loop because we have exhausted the only iteration. So if we again press Ctrl plus F10, it goes to line number 23. So we have got all the substrings, that is A, AB, ABC, B, BC and C. The current value of I is 2, right? And that is the last number of this sequence. Here we had 0, 3. So 2 is the last number of this sequence. So we have exhausted all the iterations of the outer loop as well. So it will no longer enter the loop. So from line number 23, it will directly come to line number 27, right? And it comes to line number 27. Here it sorts the list. We entered the string ABC. List that has been created is already in the sorted form. So this list will remain unchanged. If we again press Ctrl plus F10, the list has remained unchanged, and now it will simply print the elements of the list one by one in the console. If we iterate through the list, it keeps printing the elements one by one in the console, as you can see here, right? It keeps on printing the elements one by one in the console. And we have finished executing our code. If we again press Ctrl plus F10, our debugging session will end. Now, as the string that we entered was already, the characters were already in sorted form, that's why this li.sort has got nothing to do here. But if we actually enter a string, the characters of which are jumbled up, that is, they are not in the sorted manner. For example, if we enter a string like D A B H K H I, and then if we press enter, we have not run the code, so let's run the code. And if we enter a string DABKHI and press enter, then you can see it gives us all the substrings in sorted form. In this case, the li.sort method actually plays a role. If you remove the sort method from here, if you remove this line from here, and if you rerun the cell, and if you enter the same string as above, you can see the list that has been created does not contain the element in alphabetic form or alphabetic order. So that's where the li.sort method comes into picture. If you use the li.sort method, then this list will be sorted. So that's it for this video, friends. I think you have enjoyed this video. If you have liked this video, please subscribe to my channel and please hit the bell icon so that you get notified when I will upload more Python and data science related videos. And please don't forget to like and share my video so that it reaches a larger audience and they also get benefited from it. Thanks a lot for watching.